All right, y'all, welcome in. Welcome back to the Black Link Experience. It's your girl Phases. We are ready to talk about it. So thank you for being here. On your way in, hit the like. On your way in, please be nice to us. We're nice over here. This morning there was a lot of trolls in the chat. So I'm gonna have to step my what do you call it? Give some wrenches to people is what I'm gonna have to do. Trusted people. But anyway, thank y'all for being here. Let's get into this. Let's get started. As always, we will drop the link if you want to talk. If you don't, that's fine. Because we're gonna talk about it. We are gonna talk. I'm tired. It's a lot. It's been a lot. Welcome in, everybody, on your way in. Please say hi. Let me know you're here. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not already subscribed to the channel. I don't know what that they came in droves. The trolls came in droves this morning. But it's all good. It's all good. I've dropped the link there. I'm tired. All right. Oh. Hi, Harlem.
Hey, how you doing?
Tired, but I'm here. I'm good.
I don't know what it is going from the cell phone, I think, because I know when Papoose uses her cell, she gets a lot of them too.
I wonder why. What happens?
I don't know. I think
It's
maybe is it like
crazy.
a different connection or something? I don't know.
Yeah. So you doing good today?
I'm good, yeah.
That's good. I'm good. I've been working a lot. So, but anyway, I am excited to be here tonight again. This is day 11 of week 3 of the Diddy trial. We have so much to talk about. But before we go there, Donald Trump is on a pardon mission. I've been hearing he's pardoned, like the Chrisleys are going to get out. There's another name that's been dropped. So we're also hearing that P. Diddy's probably could stand a pardon and want a pardon from Donald Trump, but Donald Trump is on a mission, as always. So thought I'd throw that out there. You guys, if you come in, if you decide to stop by, hit the like on your way in, join in the conversation with us. And so Harlem, let's get started. So it was interesting today. We had the LAPD, we had the LAFD, the fire department, and we had Deontae Nash. And Deontae Nash took majority of the day and all of the afternoon. They are going to rebook him so that he can come back, or so that he was able to leave. He was supposed to leave today. He's going to leave tomorrow.
Right.
So they did that. I did see where Gene and Denat had gotten into an argument. Denat just out there speaking his mind. It's crazy how it's going down out there. I saw another lady and a guy as the family was getting off the Sprinter. The lady was like, "Love you, Miss Combs," and you raised a solid man. And then on the other side, this man just went in on her about how it's all Janice Combs' fault. The reason Diddy's in the situation he's in. Like, it's wild out there. No wonder you haven't gone Harlem.
Yeah, and I thought about it and I said, I don't think I'm going because I
Yeah,
wanted to go to see,
at
but
least
it's
see,
too much that goes on.
it is, and it's unnecessary. Everybody just be in their lane and do but anyway, yeah, it's going down. So, Pap, I haven't heard that name in a long time. Shout out to Pap. I like me some Pap. So anyway, let's start with his name is Christopher Inacio something. I can't pronounce his last name, but he is an officer from the LAPD who have served 16 years. He's a 16-year vet. He was working that morning of 2011. He got a call to go to Kid Cudi's home at about 8:20 a.m. And so the reason that they presented that time is because I think Capricorn Clark was saying it was like 6 or 7 in the morning. But I don't know that I'm probably sure, and then it's a 20-30 minute drive depending on traffic. So I'm quite sure that's probably what time he woke her up. And then she had to get ready, to get over there.
Mm-hmm.
So, they was trying to, compare those timelines. Anyway, they got there, and when they drove up to the house, it's this black Escalade sitting in front of the house. And he said for some reason it told him to memorize the license plate number. He said they went ahead and got in, and like we've heard, there were up some high-end watches, some high-end purses, other presents that were wrapped, unwrapped, nothing broken, nothing stolen. He said, so did you write a report on that, or what did you do about that? He said, we just wrote a trespassing report. But they did take fingerprints. He said they lifted some fingerprints off an old English bottle, which was thrown. It was was the cocktail that was thrown in his car. And he said they lifted some fingerprints off the doorknob where the people entered, and they continue to lift fingerprints. And he said the reason that bomb didn't go off the way that it should, there was a satin scarf, in this cocktail. And that's probably what stopped it from going off. And because if it had gone off the right way, it could have like reached the house, or even there were 2 cars behind the car that was trying to be blown up. And so it could have even reached the car like directly behind them. And he said, so they were, they did that. And he said, when he went back outside, he saw the black Escalade go down the hill. And then at this time, the Porsche was pulling up, and that was Kid Cudi. He said Kid Cudi was he was frustrated. He was upset. And he said that Brian Steele was saying, so then Brian Steele comes up and he's cross-examining him. And what Brian is trying to do is, see if they can catch Capricorn Clark in a lie from yesterday. So his question was, did you see at any point the Escalade and the Porsche right next to each other? So if you guys remember, Capricorn Clark said he pulled up beside them and they went on. And the officer said, no, he didn't see them right next to each other. And he said, did you see any kind of car chase? He was like, no, I didn't see the car chase. My thinking is, well, you was already in the house. He wouldn't have seen that anyway, or it happened before he got there. So he wouldn't have seen that. He said, then, so basically, the reason for that whole conversation with Brian Steele was to debunk what Capricorn had said. But really what it did is it just confirmed what she was saying. He said that they asked him, when they found that there were partial female fingerprints, they asked him if he knew anybody that might know of what happened, that they could maybe contact. And he gave them Cassie Ventura and gave him, it was Cassie and who was with Cassie? Capricorn Clark.
Capricorn, right?
Yeah, Capricorn Clark gave him their names and numbers. He was never able to reach them. He even called Cassie's dad, who was a firefighter, never was able to reach him, but he did talk to Capricorn Clark's brother maybe a couple of times, who he said what he felt like was kind of threatening him, like he was getting irritated with him calling, trying to reach her. So in court today, it got a little spicy. They asked for a mistrial. And here it said that, so then we go to the arson investigation where Lance Jimenez, whatever. He's a 22-year vet on the fire department. And he was called to the resident around 11 a.m. to do an investigation. And inside the court, they showed the pictures. They showed, just evidence of what they found on the scene. And it's this really long driveway. So they were in this driveway, this really long driveway, and there was two other cars, vehicles behind the one that was blown up. And he said that's whenever he talks about how the car could have blown up if it was done the right way. But he talked about had it gone off properly, he could have done possibly, and he could have reached out. So he's the one that talked about, the fire department was the one that talked about how if it had gone off the right way, how it could have reached the house and the other cars. He said they discussed evidence. He said he sent off they sent off the fingerprints. He said he didn't really know much about the DNA or whatever, but that he knew that he was aware that there was a partial female fingerprints there taken from the Old English bottle, and that he spoke to Kid Cudi, got the names that we already talked about. And he said that at that point, he said that when they got the fingerprints, he said in August of that same year, the fingerprints were destroyed. And he said, is that like normal that, you wouldn't get the direction of, like, you would just get a call in from the LAPD, somebody in the LAPD, and have them to destroy the fingerprints? And he said, did you authorize the fingerprints? He said, no, someone from LAPD. And he said, they said, the defense was like, objection, and it was sustained. He said, so during the selection for the jury selection, there was conversation that said around how, like, P. Diddy, high profile, rich men, rich women, whatever, can buy their way out of these types of crimes with no consequences. And he said the defense was saying that the government purposely planted it using these lines of questions to infer that somehow P. Diddy paid for someone on the LAPD to destroy the evidence. And so he was just like, and then what's her name? Alexandria Shapiro got up and she said, well, Judge, this is what I want for you to do. I want for you, because the jury wasn't in there. She said, when the jury comes back in, I want for you to tell the jury that they should disregard the government's improper questioning and answers. All the questions and answers regarding that, they need to disregard. The government was like, no, you can't get up and say that we're improper. What would that look like to a jury, that we're just totally improper? You can't do that. So finally, the judge decided to say, look, I'm not going to say that you guys are improper, but what I am going to say is just to the jury, because judge was getting tired of it. He was like, just disregard any questions and answer that does not pertain to this case. So then discussing questions. Then Mark Agnifilo, he notices there's a black glove. He was like, oh, you see this black glove? Did you see the black glove in the seat? Did you test that for DNA? No, no, and no. Why not? Because Kid Cudi told us that, that was his driving glove. He said, well, where's the other glove? He only had one glove to drive. And he said that wasn't even in the report, that there was a glove found. So then after that, so that all that happened, and then Deontae came off. So I'll hush now, Harlan. What you got to say to add to that?
No, I don't think I have anything to add to that. You got everything. I think their testimonies were kind of basically straightforward to the point with everything. It was just the
Yeah.
defense asking for the mistrial, but I think they ask for a mistrial every time things don't go their way.
They are seeking a mistrial on purpose. And the reason, but this is crazy because they said the reason that the judge denied the mistrial is because they want to say mistrial on the last question. Like after they was describing all this stuff this entire time, now you want to call it a mistrial. So he denied the mistrial. But I think that's their strategy. They're trying to find, and the government should be aware, right? They're trying to find any little crack or cranny that they can get in to cause a mistrial in this whole thing.
Right.
And so they have to be careful how they're walking, how they're moving and shaking, in order to not do that. Because simply, if they would have, my question is, if they would have asked earlier on during this questioning, like would he had granted them a mistrial, and it could have just been over just like that. And so you have to be careful. But yeah, I think that basically the whole purpose of that was to show, kind of, connect with what Capricorn Clark had told us yesterday, because yesterday was a bombshell. Today was a pretty calm day, but Deontae got on there. He was pretty funny, but I mean, he held nothing back as well. Like Deontae Nash he came on as an intern with Diddy. He eventually became a stylist for Cassie and Diddy, and I can't remember who else. D-Rock, I think he said. But he became the stylist for them, and he said in 2014. So what was significant? One point, because there was a lot. What I was able to grab was in 2014, they were getting Cassie ready for the Vanity Fair party. And so when they were getting ready, Cassie comes out, and Diddy was like, grabbed up Deontae and pulled him and was like, I want her hair pinned up. He said, so Diddy and another stylist or whoever was went into the bathroom, they pinned it up. She came out and he's like, oh, well, I guess it does look better down. You did all that, and now you want it down. And why should it be your choice? And then he kind of also confirmed the fact that, remember when Cassie had her hair shaved on the side? Something to do with that. But if you guys remember from Love and Hip Hop, what's his name? Scrappy from Love and Hip Hop said that he and Cassie and Diddy, they was all at a party, and whoever was on the stage had her hair cut shaved off, and Diddy jumped back down and was like, Cassie, tomorrow I want you to cut the side of your hair off like that. You can rock it. It'll look good, whatever, right? And she ended up cutting the side of her hair. Well, today he confirmed that a lot of everything, he controlled everything about Cassie. So we're finding out, even from the point of whether you want her hair pinned up or down. Like, she can't make that choice, whether I want to shave my hair or not. If he wants it shaved, I got to shave it. Thank goodness she's a pretty girl. She can rock kind of anything, but yeah. So what are some of the highlights that you got from Deontae Nash today, Harlem?
Yeah, he was able to confirm a lot of things that had previously been said. He talked about the rug use amongst all of them, the abuse that he saw between Diddy, Puff and Cassie. And what else was it that I remember from him? Because I know he confirmed a lot of things.
He talked about Kathy was talking about how she was talking about who else she would date outside of Puffy, and Jay-Z was one that she mentioned. I believe that he talked about Usher, brought Usher up, said that Cassie was either in a picture or somewhere with Usher. So some more celebrity names being thrown around. He talked about, oh gosh, he talked about so much. Let me see if I can find.
Yeah, because he talked about an incident of Puff coming in and they defended Cassie, Mia that's supposed to testify, and
Yeah,
Deontae, they
yes, so
had to jump on his back to kind of hold him back, you know?
yep. And he slung them around too.
Right.
I don't know where my notes went. Gosh darn it. But anyway, yeah. So what else did he talk about? There was some
Yeah, but the defense didn't finish with him, so I guess he'll finish in the morning,
yeah, so
and then we'll get Mia.
He'll finish in the morning. He did say that he knew who Mia was. Girl, who is Mia? I need to know. I thought we was going to find out today. Unfortunately, they had to keep Deontae a little longer. They said also, they were saying, do you ask him, did he plan on, filing a lawsuit against Sean Combs? And he was like, no. He's like, well, why did you bring your lawyer with you? To speak to the government. And he was just like, to protect myself. Like, I've never dealt with the federal courts before, so I figured I would need a lawyer. So see, at the end of at the Deontay never wanted to. He didn't want to testify. He was like,
Right.
even after everything that Puff did to him, he don't have no bad blood with him. He said, I ain't even mad about it. He survived it or whatever, but he saw a lot. He saw a lot. He said there was one time where Puffy had, that was the time he jumped on his back, where she had hit her head on the bed. And he was like,
Yeah.
it was like, what are we gonna do? He was like, she'll just go to a plastic surgeon, and get it fixed. Like, they don't fix things. You can take internal scars away. But he would just, the witch confirmed that every time something happened, if she needed her face fixed, she would have to go see a surgeon to get that fixed. So it wouldn't look, so they could cover it up. He talked about that. He talked about having that if Puff got mad at him, he would keep $1,000 so that he could get a room now without using his name. But he, if Puff just flipped out, he could go stay somewhere for the night. So he always would have $1,000, and somehow he was trying to leave, and that $1,000 was missing out of his bag. He talks about a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, it becomes a bit overwhelming, everything.
It does, because you try to keep up with so much. And I had a lot of notes, but I don't know what I did with them. I had some in my phone. I can't find them, but we'll continue to follow it. It's just a lot. And just everywhere you look, it's just puff, puff, puff. I was like, today I just had to sit the phone down, like, just walk away, because it is a lot. What else? I really think that's really what I have, because I can't remember everything. Deontae said a lot. I really was just coming to talk about what he talks about.
Yeah, he did.
And I hate that. I'm drawing a blank. So anyway, Harlem, thank you for being here tonight. Of course, we'll be back here tomorrow. I'll be back in the morning live. And so if they trolls want to come in, we're going to block you, whoever you are. But it'll probably be from my phone. And I was seeing, like, people was coming in, but then I was seeing all the comments, like, who are these people?
Yeah. I don't know why, but like I say, Papoose, when she goes live on her phone, like if she's out driving, it's like her whole chat is full of trolls. I don't know why.
Crazy. Thank you for stopping by and giving me a view. Did you see Ray J's interview today?
I did. Ray J is a mess.
He's a mess. He's, you know, I don't know what to say about Ray J and what he is saying about how he feels about Puff. He's like, free Puff. That's my homeboy. You know I
Right.
love Ray J. But,
Right.
you know, he comes out and he was like, when he got to talking, I was like, first of all, they allegedly paying people to wear the shirts. Ray J, they paying you to come say that? For a brief moment, I did. But he was just like, he feels like it's just a whole circus. They don't really have a RICO charge on him. That basically all this is about is people, you know, being intimate in the privacy of their own bedrooms. And now he's supposed to go do all this time for that. Free Puff, free Puff. So he did talk about when him and Puff's boys got into it. He said he just feels like, you know, they was taking it the wrong way when he said there's a lot of A's being ate, that they took it the wrong way, and that they had approached him like 2 other times before that. And that third time he had just had enough. He said, but they were way younger than him and he wasn't going to like fight them or nothing. But, you know, they were able to talk. They've all talked it out. Everybody's cool now, but he did talk about that. He said he didn't want to talk about who was. Remember when he came out and said somebody tried to unalive him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said whatever happened, that's resolved, and he didn't. And I'm glad for that. Like he was talking like he had some sense in this interview today, that he didn't want to, you know, discuss that no more. So I mean, he sounded really good. He sounded really good. He just
Okay.
has, you know, he just has his opinion, and just like everybody else. That's all.
Yeah, he does. He
You know.
does.
Yeah.
But they had interviewed Suge Knight.
Oh, did you
Did you
hear
see
it?
that?
Yes.
Yeah, Suge
Yes.
Knight is saying that he said him and Puff are not friends. They never were friends, but he feels Puff may get off if his lawyers actually know what they're doing. Because he says when Capricorn got um money from Jimmy Iovine for when Puff had attacked her,
Uh-huh.
that it was agreed that she was to never speak on it. So he's feeling because she testified that Puff should get off. But I'm
Why though?
thinking, wouldn't because it's federal charges, wouldn't that trump whatever agreement was decided on?
Right. That's what I thought. I thought it didn't
Yeah.
matter what agreement you sign. When it's a criminal case like this, that trumps everything.
Yeah,
So I'm
because the
not
federal charges trumps any NDAs that
any
were
NDA.
signed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's real interesting to find out. I don't know. But I just feel like it, there may not be. Let me back up. For the charges that they have against him, there may be I can't even say that, but I just feel like let me just say this. I don't feel like he's gonna just walk. I don't think that the feds, that the government came for him to let him walk. But he got a cold legal team. He has a fire legal team. And you just never know. You just never know. Just like OJ Simpson, like I just knew he was going to jail for the murders and he got off. So, I mean, we can't say, we just have to, at the end of the day, the judgment and the opinions that matter is going to be the jury. That's all that's going to matter.
Right.
So, you know, we just have to wait and see. But they saying that it is going to be, instead of it being 6 to 8 weeks, like you said last night, they shortened it to about 5 weeks. But if they keep holding witnesses all day until the next day, I don't know, it may linger on a little bit. But anyway, tomorrow after they are done with Deontae Nash, who is was the stylist for Cassie, Diddy, and a couple other people, we're going to get to hear from Mia. Is it right? Did I say Mia? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get to hear from Mia, whoever that might be. All we know is that it is an executive, an assistant to Diddy. And then whoever else they got lined up. So we'll be going live about 7:30 in the morning, right before court, which is 8:30 that time, Eastern time. And just stay, we're going to stay pushing. We're going to stay putting these shorts out. We're going to stay going live. We're going to stay covering this until the end. I was telling somebody I might have to take off the day when they say, okay, we have the jury has, the defense have rested their case. The government has rested their case. The jury is deliberating. I may have to take a day or two off because I want to be live when we get the when we get the verdict. I want to be live. They said that Diddy is interacting, with his team, has always have, but that's Diddy. He's going to, but right. It's his case. He should be saying whatever, but they're saying he's getting really frustrated with the witnesses that are coming before him. And you can see it. You can see him getting frustrated. But they're also saying that he is, he looks like he is afraid that this might not go the way he wanted to go. But again, we can't say that. We just have to wait to see what's going to happen. So anyway, I hope y'all have a good night. Are you still off, Harlem?
Yeah, I am. But let me just say one thing about Mia. So if you hear them asking Mia a question about was there a television program that her and Puff were working on together, that's the name that I sent to you.
I saw the name. Same one I was thinking.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, I can't wait till tomorrow. Yeah, we're gonna see.
Yeah, because her and Cassie were close.
You see, Cassie had a little boy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she had her little boy, 2 girls and a boy now.
Right.
I just know that she'll be so glad when this is just over. And you know how people talk about it, and eventually it just kind of dies off. She got to wait till it dies off, but she'll get there so she can go on with her family. But she has a little boy now.
Right. It's good for her. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, congratulations to you, Cassie. That is amazing. All right, you guys, we're going to go for now. Anything else before we go, Harlem?
No, I don't think I had anything else.
Okay, well, y'all have a good night. Thank you for being here. Hit the like on the way in, on the way out. However, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. We have made it to 9K and we're headed to 10K with you guys' help. Thank you. Y'all have a good night. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.